Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's show, we recap achievements of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology in 2019 and talk crime prevention strategy among the youth.
Some of the youth that we consider to be having behavioral problem, if we can improve on their self-esteem and let them feel a sense of belonging and cause them to feel important, we'll see significant changes.
There is so much more ahead, so stay tuned for the details.
What if they knew that you abused her? Her family?
Mr. Jones.
And your colleagues, how will they look at an abuser? When the law comes knocking, you'll have nowhere to run.
Mr. Brown, you're under arrest. Please get up, hands behind your head and interlock your fingers.
Turn your back on abusers. Report gender-based violence to the police. There's no excuse for abuse. Call the Bureau of Gender Affairs at 876-754-8577.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry and this is your JIS News for Thursday, January 16. Two communities in the corporate area will be the focus of the country's National Cleanup Days on January 24, 25 and 26. The two communities are Raytown and Grants Pen in Kingston. The three-day cleanup activities were declared by government to beautify the environment and eradicate mosquito breeding sites in and around homes, communities, churches, schools, and workplaces. During this week's post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House, Culture Minister Olivia Grange implored Jamaicans to get on board and join the fight against dengue.
As we know, dengue is a serious disease that has the potential to affect every constituency, every community, every school, every home, and every person. And therefore, it is critical that all of us, each member of parliament, each councillor, every individual, get involved in efforts to find and destroy the mosquitoes that transmit dengue.
The three-day cleanup activity will be led by the slogan, "Mosquitoes, wanted dead, not alive." The Ministry of Health has identified 158 communities as being in need of urgent action to destroy mosquito breeding sites. 36 communities are considered critical. The launch of the national cleanup projects will be at the New Day Primary School in Grants Pen and the Raytown football field and basketball court in that community. The two projects will be led by the Jamaica Defence Force, National Solid Waste Management Authority, and the National Works Agency. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is to do an analysis of the dengue cleanup data to monitor the results. Managing Director of JSIF, Omar Sweeney, says the information will determine if the exercise should continue.
The metrics in terms of what Dr. Tufton spoke to in terms of cases and the identification, the metrics in terms of tonnage of waste that's been removed, all of these things will give us the indicators as to whether or not the program really needs to be extended beyond that.
Mr. Sweeney was speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House. To support the January 24 to 26 activities, the agency will also be providing vector control workers with mosquito nets for drums and other resources needed to carry out their jobs. These are to be deployed across vulnerable communities in 7 parishes, in which the agency has an active environmental and solid waste program.
The environmental management program we're doing here will ensure that these vulnerable communities will also receive the resource capability that will ensure that they also have the ability to be a part of this program.
He says JSIF will also be providing $90 million for the training and deployment of an additional 200 vector control workers across 30 vulnerable communities. A new National Public Key Infrastructure (NPKI) project has been launched by the government under the National Identification System (NIDS) program. The NPKI project was launched on Wednesday and will be rolled out during the next 7 months with the objective of making Jamaica a more digital society. It will enable trusted electronic identities for people, services, and things, and make it possible to implement strong authentication, data encryption, and digital signatures based on a certifying authority.
In a PKI environment, citizens can log on securely and validate their transactions online. Citizens can prove who they are in the online environment, and citizens can digitally sign documents in a few clicks.
The Technology Minister says the National Public Key Infrastructure will also provide security for the new national identification cards. Currently, the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, and eGov Jamaica Limited are the first agencies to utilize the NPKI. The Registrar General's Department, RGD, is to be the next entity. RGD's new self-service web portal will allow Jamaicans to apply online and print digital copies of their birth certificates. Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange says the Port Royal Cruise Port will be ready to accommodate its first cruise ship on January 20. She made the announcement following a tour of the area on Tuesday.
We are happy that we're now going to be able to showcase this rich heritage to the world. And that we have been able, as a joined-up government, to take it to the stage. This has been long coming.
Port Royal was selected as a cruise destination because of its rich environmental, historical, cultural, and economic value. With the development of Fort Rocky and Fort Charles, the entire area will be earmarked as the first entertainment zone in Jamaica. To help residents take advantage of these opportunities, Ms. Grange says her ministry has provided residents with training in various economic enabling programs.
Jewelry making, batik, chasing, so they have come up with their own Port Royal brand. And that will be trademarked. So the people of Port Royal can be pleased to know that not only are they known for the fish and the sea and the water, but they are also artisans who have branched out into other forms of creative production.
And finally, leaders of government, private sector, the church, and civil society gathered earlier this morning to pray for the restorative power of peace. The leaders asked for divine intervention and direction to wrestle the country away from the clutches of crime and violence while bringing lasting peace to the nation. The 40th celebration of the National Leadership Prayer Breakfast was held at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel under the theme, Pursuing the Power of Peace. The Violence Prevention Alliance's Child Resiliency Program is this year's beneficiary of the annual event. The program provides educational and development support for children with disabilities, as well as those impacted by abuse, neglect, and violence. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Mosquitoes can spread diseases such as dengue fever. Common symptoms of dengue include fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, nausea, and vomiting. If you feel you have dengue fever, visit your doctor or health center, rest, drink lots of fluids, use only paracetamol for pain. Do not take aspirin or other painkillers. Protect yourself from dengue and other mosquito-borne diseases. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Measures to diversify the country's energy mix through renewable sources, plus providing the technology needed for efficiency in areas of the health sector. Let's recap achievements under the science, energy and technology portfolios in 2019.
Giving the people of Jamaica assurance that together with the new permanent secretary, that we will go in and begin the process of restoring their trust and confidence in these institutions.
The Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology made significant strides this past year.
We boast some of the largest solar and wind facilities in the Caribbean, with the 20 megawatt Content Solar and the 37 megawatt 8 River facilities, in addition to the 62.7 megawatts Wigton Wind Farm and the 36 megawatts BMR wind facilities.
Mandatory 10-digit dial-in took effect on March 31. Wigton Wind Farm Limited was officially listed on the main market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange on May 22. And the government committed more than $1 billion to reducing the cost of electricity supply to the public sector. Upgrades have since been executed at the Maypen Hospital and the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
These upgrades are expected to reduce collective electricity demand, which at current rates translates to more than $41 million in savings.
This is the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology's 2019 Year in Review.
We understand the growing need for connectivity for our people and the need to create a digitally inclusive society where no one is left behind.
As such, Emancipation Park in Kingston became Jamaica's 7th free public Wi-Fi location. The Universal Service Fund USF opened 2 more community access point CAP sites.
I want to applaud USF for the critical work that they're doing in extending the infrastructure to Jamaicans in unserved and underserved communities to have easy and reliable access to the internet.
University students and graduates now have a medium to earn valuable work experience in the energy industry through the opening of the Innovation Lab or iLab.
With the plethora of changes anticipated, we need a cohort of young people who are equipped with the skills and competencies to lead the energy revolution.
eGov Jamaica Limited also started the process of being ISO 27001 certified. This will help to strengthen Jamaica's cybersecurity apparatus. 2019 also saw Jamaica becoming a signatory to the International Solar Alliance ISA. This gives the island access to $100 billion for investment opportunities within the solar power sector. Meanwhile, eLearning Jamaica handed over 46 computers to the Jamaica Physiotherapy Association.
More and more health practitioners are utilizing smart devices, such as tablets, to aid in patient care and diagnosis, as it offers greater access to records and information in real time.
Under the new government electrical regulator GER, the wait time for persons to have their houses or buildings approved for electricity was drastically cut.
We are saying to the certified electricians, you have a chance now to become a certified inspector. And so we will dramatically increase the number of inspectors that are available to come out and take a look at the jobs of all the electricians, all the inspectors.
Jamaica established itself as a premier liquefied natural gas LNG hub with the commissioning of New Fortress Energy's floating storage and regasification terminal.
The long-term contracts that are being signed will ensure that there's price stability and that these will inure to the benefit of Jamaicans.
The 37 megawatt solar plant at Paradise Park in Westmoreland was also opened and commissioned in 2019. JPS's 25 megawatt hybrid energy storage system on Marcus Garvey Drive was also commissioned. The ministry re-established the Jamaica Energy Council JEC to continue the implementation of policy and sustainable development of the island's energy sector. The operations of the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica were also subsumed into the ministry. This allowed the ministry to have a more comprehensive grasp of the nation's energy sector. The Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology has been continuing the work and laying the foundation to help Jamaica attain its Vision 2030 goals.
Twenty 2019 was an eventful year for the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. There were many achievements, accomplishments and milestones.
Last year we placed 30,789 students in schools of their preference. This year, we placed 32,155 students in schools of their choice.
When we have a creative learning-based platform that will assist children with learning disabilities, it is a win, not just for the teachers who are being trained, but it is a win for all our children.
Based on the students' performance, it is evident that the education system at the primary level is moving in the right direction.
These achievements and more in the full review of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information inside your favorite television program, Jamaica Magazine.
Up next, measures by the Jamaica Constabulary Force to steer our youth from a life of crime.
We recognize that it was important for us to be more involved in school to create a diversion from engaging in gang activity. One of the components of our gang strategy as an organization, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, is diversion. How do we divert people away from gang? We will be targeting a number of schools in terms of identify what are some of the things that they should look for in respect of students who might be drawn towards involving in gang.
We try to let them see, that the youngsters see the negatives, the far-reaching effects of being involved in these groups, their own well-being, their own development. And that in itself should, in a real way, have them think twice as to joining these criminal groups. We should look at a set of actions as parents to guide us to seek intervention to get them away from this kind of a thing. Parents ought to look for signs such as changes in behavior, having unaccounted for valuables, dressing in a particular way, using certain language, as well as being unaccountable for most of the time, at places where they may be hanging out with other gang members. I must hasten to say, though, that teenagers do have some of these, do exhibit some of these signs as teenagers. So we must not just take it for granted that they are members or they are inclining to be members of criminal organizations. While we see signs of behaviors in institutions, and while some of these institutions fall within certain geographic areas where the gangs are pronounced, what we actually have been seeing really is more of not necessarily gangs in schools, but persons who attend schools, do from time to time get involved in the wider gang networks that are most oftentimes.
It is said that youth are likely to join gangs during their teenage years when parental significance and supervision are removed and replaced by peer influence. So it is important for us to see ourselves as a part of it. It's not left to a few people, the school system, the police, but everybody must get involved. Some of the youth that we consider to be having behavioral problem, if we can improve on their self-esteem and let them feel a sense of belonging and cause them to feel important, we'll see significant changes. So I'm saying, let's love our children, let's show our children that they are important, and let's join in the activity to engage our children and let them know that they are the future. And if we invest in them, the problem of gangs and violence will be reduced.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
Earlier we spoke of measures to deter youth from a life of crime. Now it's about allowing them to find solutions using a hands-on approach, with a little science, of course.
My name is Jamal Hall and I'm here at Monroe College at our First Form Science Energy Day extravaganza. We are trying to inculcate the use of various alternative energy sources among the First Form group. Some of them are as displays where you have the wind-powered, solar-powered. This is Sandre, he has his piece right here. Sandre, tell me about your piece.
This is a solar pressure cooker. It heats up. When the light shines onto the fire paper, it heats up inside of the box, and because the glass is there, it traps the heat, and it heats up the water bottle. So I would like to feel it now.
Yes, please. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Thank you. All right, let's move over to a wind-powered house done by Sinilla Form 1X. Good day, Sinil.
This is a wind-powered turbine. The wind powers the bicycle generator. Then it moves down to this wire and it powers the light bulb.
What made you choose a wind-powered house?
I felt it was good because of how Monroe was breezy.
Okay.
And it took me a day to build it.
What have you learned about renewable energy from the project?
That it saves work energy.
Saves energy.
And it prevents global warming.
One of the big thrusts we have here is to ensure that we stimulate an interest in the sciences from very early. So once the kids come in first form, it's a way of stimulating that natural intellectual curiosity and interest in the sciences, particularly alternative energy that the school is very passionate about. And it all ties into this whole thrust towards what we call STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it really is a part of a broader thrust by the school to ensure that this is deeply engendered in the boys and there's this real interest and drive and passion that they have. Hopefully they'll go on to become scientists themselves.
We'll now be moving over to a solar-powered car. Let's see how that works.
We use a plastic bottle, 4 tires from an old toy car, and a rechargeable battery with a 3-volt solar panel and a 1.5 voltage motor inside the car. With the solar panel takes power from the sun, send it to the battery, and the battery powers the motor.
What exactly did you learn from doing this project?
Renewable energy is more efficient than fossil fuels.
We are here with Lawton Lewis and his solar-powered car. Now, Lawton, tell us something about this vehicle.
Okay, this vehicle runs off of solar power, right? All of these solar panels equal to 20 volts, right? 2 motor power the front wheels and 1 motor power the back wheel. Reason being because the front is heavier than the back.
Okay.
Right? The whole frame of this vehicle is made out of plywood.
Up next is a homemade solar water heater, and the person responsible for this is my friend here, Vernon. Vernon, tell me exactly how does this work?
We use irrigation pipes to hold the water. We have used the sun's rays to generate the heat of the solar water heater, which heats the water. These green plastic things, they are couplers, which are used to connect into these columns.
Co-curriculum programs such as this is deeply rooted in the concept of project-based learning. And so we're stepping away from the chalk and talk and now towards a system in which students are actively engaged in the process of learning.
I believe that
students learn not only from theoretical knowledge but through practical application. And I thought it fitting as a teacher who experiments a lot in the classroom to not only teach the concept energy but also to allow students to exercise some practical work, and from that they will better understand the concept. So in some sense, practical application concretize theoretical knowledge. This assignment was also weighted towards their end of year exam, so it has a 20% weighting. This I think is very interesting for first formers, so it's like an SBA component of their final exam.
Now it's time to check out my masterpiece. Let's go. Okay, this is a solar powered company. Now, everyone made houses, but I decided to make a company that could be later on used, meaning that it could develop to something bigger. Here, I have my solar panels, and if the sun shines, heats up these two panels, and then the light inside the house turns on. The benefits of solar is basically it is healthier, it's cheaper.
They are more cleaner and release less pollutants in the atmosphere than other energy forms.
I found out that green energy is the best energy and that solar panel isn't there and it's better than using the normal electricity.
This whole day is basically about the use of renewable energy, and we are just so glad that you could be able to stop by and see what we have to share, and now we can spread to the whole world what you can achieve using renewable energy sources.
Living in Jamaica is an experience that you cannot put in words. There's an energy in the atmosphere that just feels good. There are so many aspects of Jamaica that I think makes it second to none. The best food, the best music, the best people. We can go on and on about the good things about living in Jamaica. There's a parish in Jamaica called Portland. I think that's one of my favorite places to be. It's one of the most nature-oriented parishes, and I love the nightlife in Kingston. Once you come here and you get that connection with the people, that connection with the food and the music and just the lifestyle is something that you'll always remember. People should visit Jamaica because I'm sure 100% that it is the place to be on planet Earth. You need to come here and you'll get an experience that you will never forget.
We end today's show with a motivational quote from American spiritual leader and author Sonia Croquette. Your own words are the bricks and mortar of the dreams you want to realize. Your words are the greatest power you have. The words you choose and their use establish the life you experience. Starting today, let us assess our lives and the words we have been speaking to see if they are aligned to our dreams. If not, let's choose to speak positive and practical things over ourselves. Another Jamaica Magazine comes your way tomorrow, same time on the station. For more information, log on to our website, gis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.